Hello and welcome to DVB English News. I'm Joe, and this week's headlines. 5 committees formed to advise resistance groups following the Myanmar Spring Revolution conference this week. The National Unity Government says dialogue with the military regime is not possible. And 130,000 more people were displaced due to conflict and floods across the country. 5 committees were formed to advise resistance groups following the International Conference for Myanmar Spring Revolution. It was held in Buffalo, New York from August 26 to August 27. Leaders from the National Unity Government, or NUG, the National Unity Consultative Council, or NUCC, and the National League for Democracy, or NLD Party, participated. Members of the People's Defense Force, or PDF, and civil society organizations attended online. The 5 committees will oversee military, political, democratic, financial, federal, and ethnic affairs. The conference organizer Kokole said that the committees were formed to analyze the issues of allocation of power and problems that have occurred on the ground inside Myanmar. The NUG Foreign Minister Zinma Ong said that any dialogue with the military regime will only buy it more time and worsen violence against the people. Zinma Ong added that the military is no longer allowed to attend the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN summits, since it refuses to adhere to the 5-point consensus and end all violence. The NUG states that the military is focused on its election and is not interested in dialogue called for by the international community. On August 25th, regime spokesperson Zaw Min Dun said that it would only consider dialogue with the NUG and the PDF if both renounce violence. Nearly 50,000 people in Kachin State, Sagaing region in the southeast have been displaced due to armed conflict between August 22nd to August 28th, states the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, or UN OCHA. Heavy rainfall and flooding have also forced around 80,000 residents of Bago, Danintari, Karen, and Mon to flee to safer areas. More than 50,000 acres of paddy fields were flooded in northern Arakan state. More than 1.9 million people are displaced in Myanmar, with 1.6 million of them forced to flee their homes since the 2021 military coup. Former U.S. Ambassador to Myanmar Scot Marciel sat down with DVB to discuss his tenure as America's top diplomat in his new book, Imperfect Partners, the United States and Southeast Asia. Marciel's book documents his time in Myanmar during Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD government from 2016 to 2020.
Certainly in my time in Myanmar, I saw that the military was quite focused on maintaining its power and was blocking important reforms and continuing to carry out military operations that involved a lot of human rights violations, most notably against the Rohingya, but there were others as well, the Kachin and many more. I didn't expect a coup for the simple reason that the military already had, under the Constitution, a lot of power. And so I thought that a coup would be harmful not only for the country, but for the military.
And that's all for this week's headlines. Thanks for listening to DVB English News. I'm Joe. Tune in again next week for all the latest news from Myanmar.